Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you on a Friday night. It's about 9 o'clock, a few minutes after. Just looking at some of the newest model data, so we're going to talk about that. And also to cool a few heads out there. It's been a really wild last few days, and especially a wild 24 hours. Remember, I have to keep tabs on everything as a social media creator. In other words, I'm on multiple platforms, so I have to be invested in all the platforms and everything that goes in and out of those things, all the politics behind it, the tech behind it. It is exhausting. And then, of course, I got to track you guys down, right? It's like you guys scatter. So my point here is to reach as many of you as I can. So I just wrote a blog, a couple months ago. Says, hey, look, just letting you know, censorship is coming more than what we've had in the past, and it's frustrating for me as a creator because I try to reach you guys, right? If you keep leaving different platforms, I can't reach you. And that was the whole point of the blog. But of course, half people don't read the blogs and they just leave their comments and they call me names and they say, I always knew you were this, and now that you've added politics to it, I'm out. I'm just like, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out because you're too much of an idiot. You'd even read the blog or you'd have seen there was no politics. But I'm a nice guy, so I don't say anything. I just let it go. So that's the deal there. So if you want to read that blog, I suggest it. But everything is happening that I wrote 2 months ago has happened today. Just about all that stuff happened in one day. That's how quickly this environment can change. So I'm still going to try to reach as many of you can, no matter what platform you go to. If it's Parler or Gab, or you stay on Twitter, or you stay on Facebook, whatever's out there, I'm going to try to utilize to reach you. So don't worry. I mean, I know the country is all split and divided, and half go this way and half go that way. That's fine. I have no skin in the game. I love you all. I want to reach you all, right? I'm here to give you the best weather information that you can get. So, your political affiliation, whatever, it's fine. I don't care. My whole point is, and this is what always irritated me is, for the platforms that do censor a certain group over another, why? You're just running off half your base, and then you put everybody into a new echo chamber, and then what's left is your own echo chamber. So now you have two echo chambers versus everybody just kind of figuring out how to make it work, right? So the whole thing's a mess. So the point tonight on the post that I did was to let you know that if you were under a rock, that rock exploded and just stuff fell from the sky today, and it was impressive. So with that said, let's talk about the weather. And by the way, thanks for liking, sharing this video, telling your friends and family about me, all that kind of stuff. And thank you for the star sign. I see that Tiffany was in the house and Philip started it off right along with Brittany, so appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan, I see you as well. Lisa and Crystal twice, a couple times, and then Jane's in the house with some stars, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, how much snow are we going to get, right? That's the $1 million question. Jason, well, I see you sneaking in there with the 2-week streak, 500 with some earphones. He was digging my music earlier. All right, let's go full screen. So the Weather Service, remember how last time I talked about how they were going to take their little batch of snow out here and they were going to move it to something like this? Guess what they did? They did exactly that. I still think you might have to add just a little bit here for some flurries or very, very light dusting here in central Oklahoma on Sunday and the Sunday evening, so just keep that in mind. Or more, you might actually get a full inch of snow out of this down toward Durant. But for Oklahoma right now, it looks like a pretty light deal. We're going to take a look at the new model data here in a second. We'll see if that's changed. Now, Dallas-Fort Worth, kind of an interesting situation there. I see you, Dina, with the clapping hands. Thank you. Sunday morning is when they have their snow starting to arrive here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Some rain north and east of the Metroplex. Now, the Weather Service there isn't too excited about snow amounts. They got pretty low here, about 1 inch or less in Dallas County itself and in Rockwall. But then about maybe 2 inches around, Tarrant, southwest of Tarrant. So then much heavier amount south of there, but not by much, 3 to 4 inches. They're extremely conservative with their snowfall forecast down in Dallas-Fort Worth. But we're going to find out together if that's going to really stay that way. Here's a look at the surface map. You got to have cold air in place, right? Well, it was freezing today. I mean, this did not warm up, and it was cold all the way down to Texas. They have temperatures down here, surface temperatures in red, so 39, 36, 37, 38, 32, 36, over a dew point value of 30, 32, 31. So the cold air is in place. And as the upper level storm system develops and starts to move to the south, what it'll do is it'll start to wrap around some north wind. And so it'll take this cold air advection southward to help reinforce some of the cool air down here into Texas to keep the probability of snow going. Now also, what we're going to have in addition to what's going to happen at the surface, you have to look upstairs, right? Well, upstairs is the sounding profile, and I've told you before, the red line is temperature, green line is dew point. This goes all the way up thousands of feet. The blue line in between is the wet bulb temperature. That's what happens when you saturate the column of the atmosphere. So this large split here, which means it's very dry. When they're very close together, it means it's pretty moist. So it's not too moist in this environment. This is Oklahoma City here this afternoon, but it's very dry. So what happens is, with these two temperatures, the temperature and the dew point meets, it creates this little line here that we follow. And as long as it stays to the left of this dashed line here, which is the freezing line, then that means the atmosphere is primed for all snow, baby. And that's down here in Oklahoma. So we are primed for snow. But who else is primed for snow? Let's take a look down south into Dallas-Fort Worth. Guess what? All here, below freezing, below freezing, below freezing, and just above freezing here at about 900 millibars, something like that. So 1,000 feet off the ground or so. Now, that becomes a factor because you can't have it snowing to beat the band and then it evaporate into, or not evaporate, but in the change state into rain. So in other words, the snow would melt right as it's coming down the surface, and you get kind of some wet flakes mixed in with a very cold rain. That is definitely on the table. Just a little change in the atmosphere can make a world of difference, but at least right now, the atmosphere does suggest snow is on the table for Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's see. So those are the two kind of important soundings I want to show you here briefly. Let's see if the storm system has moved. Shall we see where the track is? We go through time, see where the upper level low is. Let's see, by Sunday afternoon, the low is centered here. It's not as closed off as it was before. It's more of an open wave. And all these bright colors that you see coming out ahead of it is lift in the atmosphere. It's all squeezing out the moisture. You can see how most of that's over Texas. There's a little bit, though, here in Oklahoma. So we are getting a little flurry activity, some little light dusting of snow, especially southern and southeast Oklahoma. As we head into Sunday evening, the low's moving over Dallas-Fort Worth. And as we head into, it's Monday morning, the low is finally starting to fill in a little bit, which means it strengthens just a hair over in the far southeast Oklahoma and in northeast Texas. So keep in mind, that'll be the track for a little bit of snow. So far southern and southeast Oklahoma will get a little snow out of this as well. All right, now, what about the vertical velocities? In other words, the lift in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. The brighter the colors, the stronger the lift. So it's going gangbusters out here Saturday evening into the Texas Panhandle, down southward from there. So head into the morning hours, going gangbusters in the Big Bend, western Texas, moving into Dallas-Fort Worth area, going gangbusters right there across the heart of the Metroplex, down southward. And that kind of shifts more south and east of there into central Texas. Now, it won't be cold enough for all snow down there. It'll be rain, but we'll take a look at how far that snow line will go down. You can see by Sunday night, here's some wraparound lift in central and eastern Oklahoma. So again, we're going to see a little bit of light snow here, but nothing like what we have seen in the last few events. That's just putting it lightly. Okay, so let's talk about, let's do the Dallas timeline, and then we're going to do snow totals for everybody. So here's a look at the latest NAM, and it's got the precipitation starting to approach Dallas-Fort Worth by 9 o'clock in the morning, especially out west, Tarrant County. As you go into lunchtime, it's flat out moving on through from all over the Metroplex, and then points in northern Texas, Gainesville, Denton, out toward Tyler. Continues eastward from there. So again, snow hugging the Red River Valley in the afternoon, southwest Oklahoma you see, and then into southeastern Oklahoma. Now this model doesn't bring the snow too far north. I think that's a little bit an error. I think we'll have a little bit more north from that, but this is just kind of give you the general idea on timing. There's the midnight Sunday night, and there's a little bit of snow finally showing up here in the model data. There we go. There's some showing up in southern central Oklahoma overnight on Sunday night and a Monday morning. And of course, things are quiet down here for Texas. So let's get to the overall track of the snow. We're going to show you a couple of the latest models. And let me see what else is in. Good. The Canadian will be in. It's out to 60 hours. So that'll do. Those other ones are out. Let's do it. 48 hours out. Let's do a little comparison. We're going to do a little round robin here. So all these models came in here this evening based off the latest data. We'll start out with the HRR model. It's going nuts for snow in Dallas-Fort Worth. 6 to 7 inches. Woo! We're going to get a close-up view of that because I know you guys are probably going, what? So let's do that. Let's go. I'll do the big picture, and then we'll focus into Dallas and cover you guys, okay? Does that work for you? So we'll do big picture first. Get everybody. All right, so you can see the big swath of snow down in the Texas and the Panhandle, even Oklahoma as well. A little bit of light snow out here in western Oklahoma. This goes a 48-hour period. This is only through Sunday evening. This does not count for Sunday night to Monday morning, which will add some more snow in this area. I'm just going with these short-term high-res models just so we can get an idea on the initial track. All right, so there's a couple of CAM models. Big snows down south. No real change. You can see a little bit of accumulation out here in central parts of central Oklahoma. This is just a dusting. It's nothing really measurable. Let's see. Another model keeps it out west and out west. Boy, it just goes nuts down in Texas, though. There's the dam we just looked at. There's its high resolution, brother. It's got 2 inches from 2 inches around. Was that Dallas County? And it's funny as the south end of the county gets 3 or 4 or 5 for Tarrant and Dallas, but the northern end only gets a dusting. Let's see. Then there might be a pretty sharp gradient because of the melting that I talked about earlier in the sounding. So that's a blend of models, and then there's the Canadian as well, which has just been going nuts this whole time. So there's kind of the track. So as you can see, western Oklahoma for the first part of the system, and southern Oklahoma later on, and then I'll show you the extended period, which will only take a couple of models, and then you can look at how the precipitation ought to pan out. Okay, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so here's a look at what's happened with the latest HRR in Dallas. Like I said, it went nuts. Now the HRR can sometimes get let out of control with the snow. I'm going to do the Kuchera method, and that should lower it a little bit. So yeah, the Kuchera method is a little bit more understandable. So that's 3 to 4 inches here in Dallas, out toward parts of Tarrant County. You might even see pockets here just on the west side of the county, about 6 inches out toward Weatherford. So some pretty decent snowfall amounts. This extends all the way down to Bryan College Station, which is down here at the bottom of the map, right about here. So that's where the snow line stops, right through Aggie Land, and even down to T-Sit Valley. That's for the Texas fans down here. So they might get a little bit of snow too. All right, the NAM model, let's see. Kind of a similar type look. It's a little more coarse. The grid's a lot more coarse. It's not a fine grid, but it's got the same identical look. So these look great. So this is the newest data. So we showed you what the Weather Service went for. It looks like that'll be adjusted a little higher. So a little more significant snow here in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's on the table. I don't see why not to believe this output at this point in time. All right, let's go back into Oklahoma and let's see what we have for us. And let's see, I want to do this guy. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me go out a little bit more in time because I wanted to include, okay, so to show you that fact that it was supposed to snow in northern Louisiana. I mean, that's probably a rarity for those guys. So some pretty good snow in northern Louisiana. Blended models carries a little bit of snow out here in southeast Oklahoma, and there's the Canadian, does the same thing. Southern parts of southern half of Arkansas getting some light snow, southeast Oklahoma, and then of course most of it in Louisiana. So if we zoom in, we'll put that a little better perspective for you. So let's see, which one is this? The NAM. Yeah, the NAM wasn't so great on the amounts here along the river. A little light, in my opinion. This is the blended models that picks up some of the other ones. I don't believe the HRR will go out far enough. Let's see, to cover the red. Okay, it does a little bit. All right, so that's as far as it goes, 48 hours. And it's got, like I said, 1 to 2 inches of snow along the border counties of Oklahoma. So I like this look better for our neck of the woods. So this is a pretty good approach. Of course, snowing to beat the band out here in the Texas Panhandle from Lubbock to Childress. So there you go with that. If we were to look at some of the ensemble models, just to get an idea, show you how wild range they still are. And that's the take home with this. This is the GFS American blend of the ensembles, and its mean is about 1 inch of snow, but it goes all up to 4. Any of those is certainly one you could pick, and that would probably pan out. Here in the other models that we look at sometimes, and here's a super blend of those, they're down about 1 inch of snow, but there's some up here around 4 and 5. There's an outlier of 12. We can throw that one out. You don't ever want to go with an outlier, usually. So the grouping of it is either going to be very low or decent snow, 4 inches. If you were to average the second group of models out, it's not bad. Now, if you look at the high resolution short term, the SREF, we're looking at about a solid 5 inches for the average of all of its members. That's not too shabby. Again, this is for Dallas Fort Worth. So you guys down there look like you're going to get a decent snowstorm out of this. Now back here in Oklahoma, temperatures, well, they're obviously cold here for the next couple of days. We'll struggle to hit the low 40s. We might hit, might stay in the upper 30s, depends on the amount of cloud cover and all that kind of stuff. But we will start to warm things up over the weekend. Well, after the weekend. Into next week, so we head into the 50s for daytime highs. Overnight lows, those still obviously pretty chilly, but at least getting above freezing, starting probably Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. And then as we head into Monday long term, into the following week, we're looking at temperatures back into the lower 30s for lows, daytime highs probably back into the 40s. Now, this is a caveat to this. This is the second half of January, and the atmosphere is trying to flip on us. When that happens, these long-term models go out the window because you get a lot of cold air intrusions that happen instantaneously they don't pick up on initially. So caution on these extended outlooks once you get past about the middle of January. So I do expect some funny business coming into play here as far as temperatures go across the country, and we'll get a little taste of that as well. So there you have it. All right. Well, that was your weather in a nutshell. I know a lot of time was spent on the Dallas-Fort Worth there, well, because they've been begging for snow down there. So it looks like they're finally going to get it. So Jim's here. He's checking in on Gab. John says, please use Rumble. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. So again, these are all just social media platforms. I've already looked into all these because remember, I broadcast live, and that's what I really need because the weather ages rather quickly, right? So I talked to Andrew. He's the one that runs Gab. Great guy, great Christian guy. So he runs Gab. I said, look, dude, I'd love to, kind of push some of my followers that want to leave these other platforms to yours, but I can't do live video there. That's killing me. He says, don't worry. First quarter, we're going to have it. I said, oh, awesome. So that's the plan right now. So once they can go live and I can integrate through a feed to do live through them, through an API, and then I can add that to where I go live at. In other words, just include it to what I already do. For Rumble, it's like a YouTube knockoff, or some of these other video hosting sites. It doesn't have live capabilities, so again, can't really do much with Rumble unless they expand that. There's another one, NewTube, kind of like a knockoff of YouTube. Same idea. It just doesn't have live video, so really can't do much with that. Twitter, if you guys want to shoot something, do it real quick. I'll load up my patrons in the main page here. Hope you guys are having a great Friday night. Jared, you're my hero. Hey, you paid for that snow. Literally. I hope you get several inches, man. I don't know what part of Dallas-Fort Worth you live in, but hopefully it's more toward the south and west side. So your probability goes up a little bit better. Larry's in the house. Mary was here tonight. I know we are in some crazy stuff right now. Right, Stacy, I am not censored. Luckily, I'm Switzerland. Despite some of the people that yell at me for being political, I'm Switzerland. So I have to be very careful because I don't want to get banned. I just want to do the weather. So I try to keep everything just mostly weather so I can stay out of all that mess. Let's see, let's go to the main page. I'll give that a second to load. Come on, Facebook, you can do it. There it is. Okay. You got it, old Jack. I'll stay strong. I need some snow in Foreman, Arkansas. Well, the southern half of Arkansas is going to get a little bit of a light dusting. At most, maybe about an inch to the southern counties, maybe 2. Once you get it to the Louisiana border and across the border, it should go up quite a bit, for at least a little bit. Let's see what else. Mr. Cleburne, it practically is. It's a little meteorology 101 that I give you during these little talks and fireside chats. Megan, I hope so. I hope so. Man, listen, I grew up in Dallas, so as a kid, man, we begged for snowstorms to happen. Anytime Harold Taft said it was going to snow, he meant it. It would snow. Some of the other guys, they'd say it was going to snow and it wouldn't snow. We just get our hopes up. So I remember those days. They're burned, etched into my brain. So I appreciate the stars there. Vicky, I see you. Dropped me some stars tonight. I appreciate you. So I appreciate all you guys' support. Brooke, I got you there. So over the time, Elizabeth, I see you. Corrine, Leslie, Angela, Amanda. Guys are awesome. I see my boy Ryan's watching. Hello, Ryan from Red Rock Days. Lauren's in the house. So we'll see what happens with the whole social media platform. You know, I got to find you wherever you go. So we'll just see where everybody kind of migrates to. So don't worry, I'm not going to leave you high and dry. I'll find a way to reach everybody. It may be hard. I can only do so many broadcasts until I get me some unlimited bandwidth, which I don't know if that's going to happen. You guys have to make a call to Cox for me and have them run a straight fiber line right to the house. You make that happen, you can have unlimited streams. So